Hello, and welcome to another week of the Xbox North podcast. This week, we're going to talk about partnerships, Series X upgrades, Hideo Kojima, and Nintendo? Okay, we'll have more stuff to talk about. Before we start, if you like this channel and if you're liking our videos, please hit the subscribe button on the YouTube page, hit the like button, feel free to leave a comment down. If you want to find us just audio only, we're also in Spotify and Google Podcasts. Just look for Xbox North Podcast. If you ever want to message us, we're also on Reddit, Instagram, and on Twitter, we're at North Xbox. We're a man down today. Our boy Jesse Dean, JD Pro 2015, won't be here, but he's here in spirit. So Jesse, we're going to tell some good stories about you and let everybody know who you are and all that stuff, right? I don't know. Oh. Anyway, I'm Andrew Rivendren. With me, two of my great fellow co-hosts in the show, Josh. Josh, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Been just continue with the grind. Got my second shot all lined up, so ready to get that totally over with and some normality to come back to life.
Yeah, I just got. Nice. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're saying you just got yours?
I just got mine today. Yeah. So I don't know how I'm going to be doing this podcast today. I'm definitely already feeling it. I'm already feeling it right now. I can't even raise this arm.
I got my book for Friday.
Nice.
Yeah, he'll just pass out halfway through.
Yeah.
But, happy they sent the email to get the shot early. I had mine booked in September 13th, so now it's on the 19th. So I'm very happy that's about to start. And just beat Jedi Fallen Order. That game is so good. The ending is that, let's just say, that little run-in with a certain Sith Lord.
Yep.
Don't want to spoil more than that, but that was really intense and an awesome game. So, yeah. And, looking forward to talking about some games.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that for sure. You know what? I have a big regret of playing that game on PS4 because I wish I played that on the Series X with the upgrade. But oh well,
the upgrade was really nice.
Nice.
It looked gorgeous, and it ran a lot better. And it was funny. That was my second go at the game. I originally started it on the Xbox One S, and I just thought it was really clunky.
Yep.
The animations were just really choppy and everything, but then they did the upgrade on Series X, 60 frames per second. Everything just looked a lot crisper. The animations just looked a lot better because it just didn't look janky. So, it's really, really good. Definitely try it.
Nice. All right. Awesome. Also with me, Dan Robertson. Dan, how's it going? What you been up to lately?
Good. I've been playing mostly Doom. Because it's very addictive. Doom Eternal, yeah. But, I need to get back into Fallen Order because I started that and I've only gotten so far.
Yeah.
But now with the upgrade and everything too, I'm extra excited just to jump back into it.
I'm just wondering how with all these Series upgrades and the FPS boost, I'm how many games am I gonna have to replay? Just because I just want to check it out.
Yeah, for real, right?
Yeah.
And what about yourself, Andrew?
Well, also with you guys, I just recently played the Doom Eternal as well. We'll talk about it for sure. I played Plague's Tales: Innocence because of that also had a Series X upgrade, and it just came out yesterday.
Yeah, just yesterday. Okay.
And it was and I played last night. I played a couple levels. I'm not too far of it. I recommend that game, guys. You guys need to play it, and I think we need to buy that.
It's great.
We need to buy that studio as well. If we could, I think that's the perfect studio for me because I look at that studio and I go, okay, they made Microsoft Flight Simulator and they made this game on a budget, and it's not a heavy budget game, and it's phenomenal. It's the rats. I've got a bit of a fear of rats, so I kind of got a little scared a couple of times. I don't know. Might be just me.
A lot of rats in that game.
There's a tomb. Yeah, there's
a few.
Yeah,
you can say it might be a mechanic in the game.
Yeah. I haven't gotten to that part. I've just gone to the church or whatever that's inside. So it's but I know it's a mechanic apparently. Other than that, I need to stop putting this game down, but I keep playing it mostly because, well, obviously because it came out on Game Pass, but I've been playing MLB The Show a lot. I'm just getting all these, there's this Diamond Dynasty mode, which is like this RPG mode where you can get all your favorite players, and me being a diehard Blue Jays fan, getting players that haven't played in 20 years and getting a chance to play them as my starting right fielder, you know what I mean? So I don't know. For a Blue Jays fan, I think it's a lot of fun. I think for anybody who's an MLB fan, it's great, especially for new-time players.
For a person like you who switched to Xbox this generation, they decided to come out with MLB The Show.
Okay.
So thank God for you, right?
Yeah.
No more. You didn't get oh God, I can't play the show this year because I have an Xbox. No.
You know what's really sad? I've been paying that game $70 every year and being like, this game, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. And I still buy it every year. And I go, I don't know why I buy sports games every year. I don't know why people buy sports games everywhere. And then I still, freaking go. I'm just like, okay. And then it's on Xbox. And then they announce there's a console edition for Xbox. And I'm going, okay, well, maybe I'll buy it. And then Game Pass, day one. Best thing ever.
God.
Yeah.
Saved you some money.
Well, actually, the thing is, there's a lot of microtransactions, and I'm kind of being that's how they get you, That's how they're doing the job. They're screwing over for microtransactions. Have you guys ever spent way too much on games like microtransactions or their own in-game currency? Did you ever have that experience on a AAA game?
Very hard not to. I don't think I've done it on anything other than Destiny 2 because we got it on Game Pass, and I was all right, well, I'll spend a little bit on the actual game because I don't have to buy it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Destiny 2. I've definitely purchased skins and ornaments and all sorts of stuff, which I actually got to get back into playing that game. There's a big event going on this couple weeks. And they also announced that they're going to be showing off their next, the next expansion at the end of next month. So that's exciting. So a lot of cool stuff happening in Destiny right now.
Yeah, nice.
Destiny is always fun.
I can't believe there's still more expansions for that game.
Yeah, they said they're going to do 3 more actually. So there's a lot more.
Yeah.
There's always content whenever I jump back in.
Yeah. I'm
curious if they will leave behind the Xbox One and PS4 like they did with 60 and PlayStation 3.
Right.
And the first one came out.
Right?
Yeah.
We'll see.
How many years was it? How many was it? Was it a few years? Or
I think when the Taken King came out, they the expansion, the first expansion for Destiny 1. Left behind Destiny on 360. I'm pretty sure.
Got to update xCloud enough, especially on the Xbox One consoles, and then you can just play it through there.
Oh, yeah.
That is true. I think that's a pretty important thing to talk about. The fact that no gamers are left behind. We'll always talk about it. In fact, I always say that we're not leaving any gamers behind. Let's go back to our first big discussion of the week. We're talking about Series X upgrades. Right now we're watching Doom Eternal, and this game feels like a next-gen game. It actually already felt really good last year. I thought this was my favorite shooter of the year, but with this new ray tracing update, it really changes the game. And I cannot see what's next for id Software because I've been a big fan of them for a while. Obviously, they've been making games forever, but I even think of when they released Doom 3 for the original Xbox. Actually, Doom 3 was a PC game, and then it came for Xbox, and how just technologically advanced that game looked. It looked like a next-gen game. I just can't stop looking at this new game going, wow, I can't believe the way Series X upgrades look for all these systems. I just want to know what you guys thinking about this. Do you feel like it's a new complete experience for you? It just I'm just wondering, just looking at this image alone, I'm just looking at a lot of great changes right now. But what do you guys think?
I think it's funny because I was recently playing some more Cyberpunk on my PC because I've got that on my PC because it hasn't come out on Game Pass yet. But
Oh,
I actually have a copy for my Xbox too, but I'm waiting to try out the Series X and S version.
yeah.
But just all the ray tracing is like almost like everything in that game starts to become mirrored, and like
Hmm.
you can see your reflection in it, like it's an actual like
Yeah.
like piece of steel. You're going through like a steel hallway and everything. It's all steel plating and that's been polished and everything. It's a
Yeah.
little grimy at that point, but yeah, no, it like you can see all the reflections and everything. And in Cyberpunk, I got to go up to the mirror and interact with it to see my reflection at all.
Yeah. I
And now my PC doesn't run ray tracing either, so I don't know how
yeah.
the ray tracing is for that.
Well, I find the ray tracing in Doom, the fact that they have ray tracing on so many different surfaces and the game runs at like a crisp 60 frames per second, and it's so fast, and with all the like particle effects and lighting, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insane. Um, and I even find it kind of helps you too. I found you notice the green light reflects off the walls a
Yep.
lot more. So I can see it like reflecting off this wall and it's actually behind me and stuff in the game.
Yep.
The reflection off your guns, the more you look for the ray tracing, the more you notice it, obviously. But
Yep.
when it's not there, I kind of switch back and forth. You do notice the difference between the two settings. I've been playing a lot of it and really, really enjoying it. It's funny. It's kind of like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order for me, where I tried it on the 1S, didn't really
Yep.
grab me. And then I was like, you know what? I'm close to the end of Jedi Fallen Order. And I picked it up again. God, that game, you really have to customize the controls to make that game enjoyable on console. Like, you are constantly moving.
Yeah.
So it's good to have everything kind of at your fingertips and not taking your fingers off the joystick. So that's definitely something that makes that game a lot better. But I've been definitely enjoying it this time around, and I think I'm getting pretty close to the end, but game's pretty hard.
Yeah.
Enjoying it, for sure.
And it's longer than I expected it to be too.
Yeah, it's like 14 hours, if I remember. It's like a 14, 16-hour game.
And yeah, way more story.
Yeah, like it's so fast-paced and everything, and like it took me a while, especially without customizing the controls, just to kind of get good enough at it to keep going at the difficulty I was at, and I ended up turning it down just a little bit, but no, it's fun, and especially
I was playing on normal.
Yeah, I played it normal. Actually, Josh, you said something about controls, and I have to say, so I changed the controls for the left bumper for the jump as well. Completely different. Just want to know, like, just a better experience. I don't know why I don't do that more, because pressing A for Doom Eternal, there's so much, like, there's all these, like, I don't know, there's all this, like, jumping around, sticking to an area, and just pressing A for that. I don't know.
Well, I love that. Yeah, you can use the joystick. Yeah, like you can use the joystick while you're jumping and everything. So you can keep looking and following your target and everything as you're pressing the jump button instead of stopping for a second and then trying to continue and catch up. I find it's a little smoother of an experience, yeah.
And I like having dash as the right bumper.
Yep.
Or no, the right bumper. Left bumper, jumper, and
it makes for nice combos.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys ever think about like their engine id tech and like what's next for it? Because it keeps like I think obviously for me it's just right there with Unreal. Like it's probably one of my favorite engines just because the way the game looks. All the games that's been playing it. Like what do you guys think about id tech just in general?
Does Wolfenstein run off id tech?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think every Wolfenstein, Dishonored 2, and Death of the Outsider, and I want to say another game, but I know those games are, and so obviously Redfall's probably going to be on id Tech, and Deathloop is going to be on id Tech, and then I think what was it? I don't know why, but I want to say the Evil Within was also on id Tech. I don't know if I'm right on that one. I think the Evil Within might be on id Tech. If I'm,
Possibly.
Yeah.
They did design an enemy in Doom, so they might be working with that engine.
Yeah.
Prey 2.
What was it?
Prey and Prey 2.
Oh, Prey and Prey 2, which is
really.
Yeah. Well, they still have that.
I thought Prey was. I don't know why. I thought Prey was Cry engine.
Yeah, I think
not Prey like the original Prey. I think the original Prey was still on id Tech.
id Tech, yeah.
Like
this
old
is the original
version
Prey.
Of it.
Yeah.
But you're talking about the one
Prey
that
2 that was
made?
canceled, yeah.
Yeah, and then there was an Arcane Prey that was also. I just feel like because it was Arcane, they've definitely had to use id Tech because like that's like an engine that they're comfortable with, and they probably know how to use it because they have like somebody like id to help them with as well.
I think it was Crytek. I think it was the Crysis engine.
Yeah, you might be right on that one. Just because I know the funny thing about that Crytek engine is just like I've yet to see like a game that's really overwhelmed me since maybe Crysis. I don't know about you guys. I don't know. That engine's a good engine, but I haven't seen a game that's been like a game of the year yet.
But you guys hear their engine seems super impressive. Like if they just having the ray tracing update on this Doom game alone and how much they've implemented it. I can't wait to see what they do next, and they possibly might be working on Quake. But Microsoft is becoming, like we've talked before, such a powerhouse in game engines themselves.
Yep.
They have id Tech, they have Creation Engine 1 and 2 now. They have the Slipspace engine. They have the Forza engine. They're really good at Unreal. And it's just exciting to see what they'll do with stuff like that and the teams collaborating with each other. Going in the future, and I just can't wait to see what even other studios will start to show, like the Coalition.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of the Coalition, the Gears of War studio, they're going to be showcasing the new Unreal Engine 5 in a technical demo at the GDC conference this month. I'm pretty excited about this because every time I see an Unreal Engine showcase, I'm always wowed. We saw some before that looked really cool, but I still think Coalition is the number one Unreal Engine studio right now at the moment. Like, they're my favorite studio because everything looks phenomenal. I don't know what about you guys, but like, I'm expecting to be wowed at a GDC conference for this.
I'd be surprised at like every Gears of War game with like how good the graphics are, from like the very first one all the way up to the latest, like Gears of War 5 and everything, with especially the Hive Buster. Buster?
Yeah. That was probably one of the best.
Hive Buster update.
That might have been one of the best looking games I've ever seen.
Just the base Gears of War 5 was amazing. That whole level where you're riding the skiff through the lightning storm in the red sand desert. With like the tornadoes and stuff. Oh man, that looks so gorgeous. Like the game is beautiful, and they do some crazy effects with it. Even in Gears of War 4, they had very cool weather effects where you could shoot like these fences, and it would like knock over like giant pillars or like logs, and they'd roll down and like destroy a bunch of stuff, and the physics would start going crazy. So they do a lot of interesting environmental effects, but their design, level design, look, lighting, they just take that Unreal Engine to the next level. And the fact that at this GDC conference, they're like, oh, the Coalition's just going to showcase what they've been doing with Unreal 5. I'm like, what? Like, they must have done something pretty impressive, or I feel like it's Microsoft kind of being like, okay, they showed off Unreal when they initially showed it off running on the PS5, and everyone was wowed, and I'd be like, okay, let's take that engine and show them what we can do on our console and really blow them away. And I really hope they also show this is what it's capable on the Series S. I hope they don't do just like, oh, this is our
Yep.
tech demo running on the Xbox Series X, which obviously we all want to see. But I want to see them saying, hey, we took the same thing and we put it on the Series S, and really show that where people, some people in the industry think that's going to be a huge bottleneck for them. Where, considering how this new software is able to use the hardware now,
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound like the Series S will be much of a obstacle for developers. Obviously, it will take more time and resources to optimize the game properly for the Series S, but that's just kind of the nature of the beast at that point. But you're getting a huge crowd if you work for the Series S. But yeah, I want them to I want them to show what that console is capable of.
Yeah.
In that tech demo.
Do you ever feel like the reason why that was made was because when that original Unreal Engine 5 video that was shown on running on a PS5, people were just like, "This is what PS5 can handle. This is what Xbox can't handle," and you're just like, "Oh, come on, are we gonna do this narrative? Like, why wouldn't a big company like Unreal, like Epic, would be like, oh, it's only gonna run really perfect on this engine?" It felt like the most dumbest thing I ever heard when I first originally heard that, and I was just like, the Series X is a powerful machine, and I think the Series S is going to be the most underrated powerful machine ever, because for $300 to get all that stuff that's running on Unreal Engine 5, what a steal. What a steal of a console. Yeah.
And if they can have that tech demo running on the Series S showing how powerful it is, people will look at that Series S differently after that tech demo.
Yeah.
People will be like, okay, I'm just going to buy the Series S. Look at that. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's $300. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, it's cheaper than the Nintendo Switch OLED model.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're going to talk about that later now. We're going to talk about that, because that's freaking... That's an ending argument for sure. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about something that's another press conference that's going to happen. It's going to be in July 22nd. Electronic Arts. This is a studio. Well, this is a big company that I'm starting to look forward to their games. Originally, I was just, I'd be like, oh, it's EA. They're always like, they always say it's in the games, and like I look at their games and they're just terrible. But they're about to announce their event. They've been out of E3 for a while, and I'm lately with the new studios that they're kind of getting into, and maybe just restructuring certain studios. I feel like this publisher is maybe taking their feedback finally. I hope so. We hope so. And they're kind of putting out some decent bangers. Maybe they're not the Game of the Year events yet, but I want to talk about EA's like upcoming press conference, what we expect to see, what's next for EA Play. Dan, if you were coming in, you're like, okay, this is what I would love to see for this press conference, or this is what I hope to see. What about you?
Mostly Battlefield.
Okay.
I'm excited for Battlefield, yeah. But it'll be interesting to see like what they've got coming there, and yeah, I want to see more Battlefield. I want to see like if they've got any more updated engine kind of specific stuff, or
yep,
it'll be interesting to see.
Full match of Battlefield play.
That's a good idea. Like, you're talking about some sort of gameplay footage of maybe like 30 minutes of, I think, because if this is the official, that game is apparently, the Xbox is the official console for it. I kind of want to see some
Whatever
footage.
that means.
I don't know what that means either. Does that mean it's coming to Game Pass? I don't know. That's what I want.
For real, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I want to see there too.
Yeah.
I want to see them possibly say,
Oh yeah,
it's coming to Game Pass.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What
Because
about
that
you?
would be huge.
Besides,
Well, I want to see a bunch of stuff actually. So, one, I want to see them just say it's coming to Game Pass, because like honestly, you're going up against Halo free to play. You're going up against Call of Duty Warzone update and whatever Call of Duty thing they decide to Call of Duty this year. You're even going up against Call of Duty Mobile in the end also.
yeah.
But I would like to see them say, yes, it's coming to Game Pass. Because, man, if it comes to Game Pass, that means it's going to be on the cloud. I think there's a real value of it being on the cloud and getting to those people's hands. But I want to see Skate 4.
Skate 4.
You know, they announced it. Like a year ago now?
Yeah.
Or maybe more?
Yeah, I think it was like a year.
They just essentially just said, hey, it's Skate 4 and it's coming in 5 years maybe. But I'd like to see it at least, or at least just some concept of gameplay or something. And I also want to see what Criterion Games is doing. The guys who made Burnout, and they were taking over the Need for Speed franchise for a long time, and then it went to a bunch of other studios, and then they were working on some, it looked like Red Bull inspired extreme sports game that they showed like just short clippets of in some press conferences here and there. And apparently now they're back on Need for Speed. So I really just want to see what they've just been up to in general. So,
Have you ever played Black? Have you ever played the game Black? That was a original great game.
Was that Criterion?
Yep. They made an FPS game. It's just the most interesting thing ever. You know what I mean?
That's like when Harmonix tried to make that first-person dubstep game, but never came out.
Yeah. But Black was a real game, and it was a good game, and it was a really interesting, seeing
people talk. Yeah, people talk fondly of Black.
Yeah.
Sadly, we won't see it. No. Sadly, we won't see anything from BioWare there. So that's too bad. But let them take their time, please. Just let them get back to their former glory, please.
Yeah.
But what about yourself, Andrew? What do you want from Electronic Arts?
Yeah, you know what? I'm also disappointed with no Dragon Age or Mass Effect, but I want BioWare to, just hunker down and work and be just be maybe a 2-game studio now. So I like the fact that I'm not getting review from them. I really like Respawn. I've been a big fan of this developer. I've been a big fan of these developers for a while because I liked the Call of Duty games when the original Infinity Ward games were being made, like Modern Warfare 1 and 2, and 3 was okay. So when they made Titanfall, I was like, this is an interesting game. I've always wanted a mech game, wanted a good one, and I really like Titanfall 2. And obviously with you, Jedi Fallen Order. I want to see the sequel for that. That game, it leaves you to that potential of there's going to be a sequel. It just feels that way. And you know what? I think that team's going to be growing. Plus, they're apparently making another game that they're not talking too much about, that they're hiring, and they're looking for, game developers for that. So whatever Respawn's up to, I just my money's in for those guys. I don't know what you guys think.
I feel like it's time for Respawn to announce something.
Yeah.
It's been a while since Jedi Fallen Order. It's been forever since Destiny, Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
And, Apex Legends is just something that's ever growing and just continuing and has probably, most likely its own division of Respawn that is dedicated to just that game by itself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they are definitely due for announcing something for sure.
The thing. I guess we'll move to this topic, but the big discussion that like is probably going to come from them. But I want all you guys to tell me about it. But it's this supposed Dead Space remake, or I'm guessing it's a remake that's in the works from EA Motive. Reimagining, or whatever it is. I just think about how I loved that original game, and it is one of the most scariest games I played. And I don't know how to say this, but I'm a puss. I can't do horror games, guys. I can't do it. And that was the only game that I actually played, and I would have panic. I was just like panicked every time there was a door coming in, and I'm just looking at it going like, that was, I think, one of the truly most horrifying games I've ever played. It had everything that I wanted on a horror game. The gunplay, just the environments. Dan, did you play Dead Space? You played Dead Space?
Yeah, I played a decent bit of Dead Space. I loved the kind of like gameplay where they're more strategically making you like fire at places other than just the head. Like most first-person shooters are just like, yeah, go for headshots. If you can do that, then you're probably good. Yeah. And like this one was at least like, okay, there's scary ass monsters coming after you. You got to like debilitate them a little bit, because decapitating them or whatever ultra-violent stuff, you're really gonna not necessarily take them down.
Yeah.
Sometimes decapitating them made things worse.
Yeah.
Sometimes worse.
Yeah. Josh, I saw you guys playing Dead Space 3 on co-op, and I'm just like, thank God. I'm just like, a lot of people more play about it. What were your experiences of that game?
Well, I have played the original and the second, so I beat the first one and the second one. Mm-hmm. I never played the third one, so me and Dan started playing it now too. We actually got to get back into it. The third one's surprisingly pretty good. It does feel like the co-op was shoehorned in it, but it was at a weird time where like
everything was co-op
and online passes were a thing, and
what were they going to do other than just make the same kind of game? Like, that's the one hard part about it, is it's like you've got this kind of game style that's really good, and it's like, how do you change it too much without breaking it, I guess, too?
Yeah.
No.
And they were just fit in something a little extra new.
And I respect like they were trying something, and like going back to it and playing it with you, Dan, definitely made me appreciate it a lot more for the co-op, and just what they were trying to do in that game. Like, the beginning's pretty crazy. You're doing like a spacewalk, you fly through like an asteroid field, you escape like a burning building, you go through a city. It's a pretty interesting first like 20 minutes, 30 minutes of the game. So no, it's a really cool game, and I look forward to seeing what they do. I would have loved just them to did a HD remaster trilogy set, kind of what they did with the Mass Effect Legacy edition, but it sounds like they're going down more of the Resident Evil 2, 3 remake, kind of Final Fantasy 7 remake route, where it is based off the first game, but more inspired by the first game. But in my opinion, like, that game's not that old. Like, I could totally understand like taking Final Fantasy 7 and Resident Evil 2 and 3 and modernizing those, but going back to Dead Space 1 still feels like a pretty modern game. And I feel like upping the frame rate, or even kind of doing what they did with Halo 1 and 2 Anniversary Edition, and just replacing the whole game engine and just copying the same exact game, would have been fine, in my opinion. I kind of wish we would get a fourth game in the story, in the world that they built from 1, 2, and 3, and just come out with a HD remaster. I really just don't understand what the I really don't understand who. Well, I understand who this is for. It's for new players and to get people in, but I don't see the reasoning for this particular route. I feel like they could just make a good new game.
Yep. It is, I mean, what is it, like 12 years ago? When was the original came out? But it still feels like a new game, graphically, gameplay-wise, everything. It doesn't feel like it's clunky.
It's a third-person shooter, like.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I feel like if they could have just improved maybe just replaced the entire game engine.
Yeah.
And just done something like that. But, kind of going back to that, they can really do, if it's a next-gen only game, though, they could do really scary stuff with, like, dark and lighting and ray trace shadows and reflections. And
they're going to update, hopefully, with AI upscaling. So because they're just posting a new job posting on the Microsoft website about hiring some AI people basically to implement software that incorporates machine learning algorithms for graphics. So hopefully that's going to lead to some AI upscaling for the graphics and everything, kind of like we saw with the Grand Theft Auto that we were all talking about for a little while. Yeah. They were using real life streets and everything to actually AI upscale the look of things.
And I feel like that will, going back to kind of like the Series X, that will kind of help with the games kind of downgrading it to that console.
Yeah.
But for Dead Space, how do you feel about EA Motive making it, Andrew?
I mean, you guys play Squadrons, Star Wars Squadrons?
Actually, I haven't.
It's just an okay game. I don't know. What about you, Dan?
I just wanted to try it. I have it downloaded on my console, and I just haven't tried it just yet.
I mean, listen, I obviously you should always be surprised, and you should always, be open for the fact that sometimes there's a developer that comes out of nowhere and they'll surprise you, because you think about the original Starbreeze studio when before they made Riddick, they made this really terrible original Xbox game. So sometimes there are studios that surprise you, but I look at this team and I go, okay, well, this is a really beloved franchise, a really great original game. It was one of the most original games I ever played. And I've always said Resident Evil 4 kind of, it's got a big heavy influence by it, but I'm just looking at it going well, I don't know if it's going to be as good as the original. But that's just my opinion. I want to be proven wrong. We should always be proven wrong, and we should give the developers the benefit of doubt. Maybe they hire a really good game director and all that stuff, right? You never know.
Dead Space is, in my opinion, the first Dead Space is one of, if not the best survival horror games ever made.
Yes.
In my opinion, it surpassed Resident Evil, but I like the subject matter. And, Resident Evil kind of went down that really goofy route for a little while where, what is it, Leon, or Chris Redfield,
punches him?
Punches a boulder and stuff. It got ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I definitely like the subject matter and just the more serious tone of Dead Space. But to give it to a studio like EA Motive, I'd say the only thing they really have going for them is the sense that is the fact that they have a framework to work off of.
Yeah.
But besides that, good luck to them, and I really hope the best for this game for all of their sakes. But they shouldn't have closed the original studio.
Well, speaking of that original studio, have you guys heard of the Callisto Protocol? That's the original game director is making a game that's it's set in, what is it, PUBG world? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, but like in the far future, on a prison off the moon, off the moon of Titan or something, or
It looks like the good version of Alien 3. If Alien 3 was ended up being a pretty decent movie, that's what it looks like.
But it shows you that he clearly wanted to make another game.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah, I mean,
because it just sounds like Dead Space 4, kind of.
Yeah, actually, there was some vibes of that looking like it was Dead Space 4. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it's a good game. I don't know. Like, I'm just pretty iffy on it. I'm looking at it going, I'm happy that this franchise is coming back, but I'm also going like, who's making it? And then at the same time, I'm just like, I'm definitely far more interested in checking about this Callisto Protocol that I keep hearing about. And, it's by a developer that has been largely proven, but obviously the Dead Space team was like, I think they were kind of like a new team as well, or they weren't, I don't know what games they made before. I'm just wondering if the original Dead Space team, so everybody's got to start somewhere, right?
Sure.
Pretty much. Okay, let's talk about the live service models or live service games. You guys play that a lot. I mean, I think, you Destiny guys. The next Assassin's Creed is embracing the live service model and will be an ever-changing experience drawing from inspirations such as Fortnite and Warzone. This is called Assassin's Creed Infinite. I just want to talk about this because you know what? I haven't been playing Assassin's Creed in a while, but I mean, it's first of its kind for a single-player experience. I'm just wondering if this is going to be a co-op experience. Will there be live events within the world? Dan or Josh, what do you guys think about Assassin's Creed Infinite?
I think it's too soon for them to use Infinite because we're going to get Halo first.
We'll see how infinite Halo is, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
compare the two.
Yeah.
Isn't Assassin's Creed already infinite?
Wasn't there an every year game? You know what I mean? Isn't it constantly being made into a same game and you're just paying the $60?
I remember back when it was just supposed to be a trilogy and the actual storyline was going to end. And I remember getting through like Assassin's Creed 2 and I'm like, yeah, this is going to be the coolest trilogy. And then they just kept making them. And I was like, I really thought that was going to be more final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have a confession, guys. I haven't played an Assassin's Creed since like Black Flag. So I've just been so out of the loop. I don't know. Just me.
Last one I played was Syndicate.
Okay.
Which was good. I enjoyed it, but I haven't played any of the modern Assassin's Creed, like Assassin's Creed Origins, Odyssey, or the new one. Is it the new one, Valhalla?
Valhalla, yep. Jesse's favorite.
Every single one except Valhalla and except for Unity.
Ooh.
Really?
Even like the mobile ones.
Oh, wow.
Because I got like super into Assassin's Creed, but for some reason I haven't gotten around to picking up Valhalla yet. Just getting old. Have kids now.
Okay. Yeah.
I really want to play Valhalla.
I got tired of Ubisoft's like lazy gameplay loop of like, I mean, there's a certain audience for it, and maybe it's just not for me, but it's like, yeah, especially for Assassin's Creed 1, it's like, or Assassin's Creed 2, it's just like, you do that thing, you go on top of the tower and you've discovered a place and now you're doing all the little side missions and like you're just, I don't know, I got kind of bored of it. So I'm just hoping it doesn't, like, I don't know, like, did it ever improve any of the new games like after Black Flag or was it still the same game? Pretty much.
Well, they got better because I mean the graphics got better and better, and every time you stabbed someone and then hid and then waited for the guard to come and then stabbed him and then another person would come, the bodies just started piling up a little better too. So.
Oh,
but they went for more of a Dark Souls kind of gameplay where it is more third person, one-on-one dodging, like dodge roll.
Yeah.
More like Dark Souls, almost like Jedi Fallen Order gameplay.
Yep.
So they did that. They started that in like Origins. But I'm very curious what they mean by how it's going to take inspiration from Fortnite. Are they going to do like, are we going to watch like Travis Scott concerts in the middle of
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Right?
oh,
And
yeah.
you're playing some Assassin's Creed and Travis Scott just stomps down like in the middle of Assassin's Creed. But in all seriousness, I'm curious, like, are they going to do like events like, well, like the Travis Scott concert, like the Galactus event? Are they going to do something that will happen that day? You got to be there. If you're not there, you got to watch it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
How is this ever-changing world going to, well, change, right?
Yeah.
Considering that, and are they going to stop making sequels? Is it just going to be like a season pass model? How is this going to like grow? Like for something that is so single player focused, it's going to be interesting how they implement this. And if it's going to be like a live model, is it going to implement co-op into Assassin's Creed so you can enjoy these events with a friend of yours? Are they going to maybe take more of a Destiny-like approach to the game where it's
Brotherhood or something? And
yeah, like a Brotherhood where you can run into other Assassin's Creed players like in the world. I'm very curious. Yeah, like how they're gonna do this. Is it gonna be your assassin that goes through like time and stuff like that, or it's a very interesting idea. I just don't know how they're going to implement this.
Cool to see like a multiplayer hub in like the present time or something, where you go into your Animus and you can do missions like co-op style or something, like go with 4 guys and like, but you can all like it's like the tower at in Destiny and everything, but you can have more like live areas and everything.
Yeah, you're all employees of that company in the game. What was the company that made Absurgo? Yeah, and they're making like a VR game or something. So yeah, you're just like in a building, and you're all just like employees of the company, and we all go around like a water cooler, and we're all just like talking. It's like,
hey, what's up, man? Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. That's a cool mission. Yeah.
You know, I just realized that we had a couple of episodes ago. Ubisoft wants to make free-to-play games. They don't want to make that many AAA games anymore. They've said that before. So I think I'm in the camp where I think this is a free-to-play game. I think this is exactly like Fortnite.
A Game Pass play game.
Ooh. Yeah. Well, I think the only way that I'll get interested in this game is like if one of the skins is Sam Fisher. I'm just because I want a Splinter Cell game. We need more Splinter Cell. I don't know. I've been in the camp where I'm just like, okay, Ubisoft, just make me one Splinter Cell game, just this generation. That's all I want.
I was enjoying what's it called? The other Tom Clancy game.
Ghost Recon? Rainbow Six?
The Division?
No. Division.
Not the Division. There's so many of them. What was the first one you said, Andrew?
Ghost Recon.
Ghost Recon. The 2 new ones.
The Ghostlands. I think it's Ghostlands, right? Or
no,
Wildlands?
Wildlands and Breakpoint.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Breakpoint, yeah.
It seems like Breakpoint was their breaking point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised to see in at least those two that there is some cameos of Sam Fisher and everything. There's a few missions that showed up, and they were hard.
Yeah. He seems to be just like a cameo character these days, which is a shame because he's literally their best character.
Yeah, he's been their best.
Like you name any character from any other Tom Clancy game. Like name another Tom Clancy character besides like
Jack Ryan.
I'm talking about like Ubisoft games.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about like the TV shows and stuff.
Yeah.
My guy. Me.
Yeah. Generic guy from Ghost Recon, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Generic guy and generic guy too.
Yeah.
And the 2 generic guy, like co-op guys, or 3 generic co-op guys. AIs.
I guarantee you, if Ubisoft puts some of their backlog on Game Pass and it's like Splinter Cell games, and they'll see how many people are playing it, they're going to be like, oh, maybe we should be making a Splinter Cell game.
Good refresh yourself for sure.
Yeah.
Considering how big Rainbow Six Siege is, I'm surprised they haven't tried to implement the Spies versus Mercs just as a game mode by itself, but add the destructible environments like from Siege. It'd be awesome to be like a spy and be able to put like a bomb on the wall and like bust in, put like a smoke grenade, like climb up like the side while they're hunting you in first person.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever play that when they implemented the remote hacking? So you could remote hack the device. It brought up your arm and you could like remote hack, and there was a bunch of areas you could remote hack from. Man, the game was so good, and it needs to come back.
I mean, I know, like, we're going off topic, but those games had so many modes, so many, like, I even think about, like, Double Agent. There was a single-player campaign, there was a co-op campaign, and and the co-op campaign was, like, a lengthy campaign that was separate from the main single-player campaign, and there was an amazing multiplayer campaign that you're talking about.
But they did cool stuff. Like, they were one of the first games to implement where you had to climb up and like grab your other teammate and lift him up for you. Yes. And it's something so cliche in co-op games now, but they really they were one of the first to do it, and they did it in so much more creative ways than how they even implement it in games now. In games now, it's just like, let me just pull you up. Where this was like, you actually, like, it was actually part of the gameplay. Yeah. It was very cool.
I think about how the games like Last of Us, which like practically emulated everything that Splinter Cell had. And even to the point where it wasn't even a cooperative experience. You had everything you just said. I was just like, my God, they do need to make this game they need to remake it or rework it or put some experience. Like, that could be a perfect live service game, in my opinion. Some sort of Hitman 3.
Didn't Hitman just prove it?
Yeah, like with all those little names in that. I don't know. We're
talking. Bring back Splinter Cell.
Just for us, just for us old people, and have Michael Ironside's voice. I don't know. I was also a big fan of the voice actor as well. Like, I love Sam Vickers. What a great voice. That was. It's funny.
It came in the time when voice acting was like new to a game.
Yeah, and you had shitty voice acting for a long time, and then you just had this.
And you had Ironside, you had Master Chief's voice.
Yeah.
Classic voices in video games.
Manly voices. I think about it, and I think about the fact that like that game, it came out at 2002. And I remember being like, I think this is the greatest stealth experience. And my friends who had PlayStation, they'd be like, no, the best stealth experience is Metal Gear Solid. And I go, no, you haven't played Splinter Cell.
Not even close.
I'm like,
not even close.
But you can hide in a cardboard box.
Yeah. They do say that. They do say that. The cardboard box, or put a banana. Well, actually, was there a banana peel thing as well, if I remember?
I think something like that.
Yeah, they had all these.
There's a few just silly things in Metal Gear Solid that was kind of funny, but
yeah,
no, I enjoyed. Like, I played Splinter Cell. I haven't played much of Metal Gear Solid, so I can't say too much. But all I remember about it is like, you can hide in a box.
Yeah, well,
be super sneaky.
I guess it's the major discussion of the week for us. It's the turn is Kojima and Microsoft. They're officially on the plans of making something together.
Well, not officially. But.
Well, yeah, they're the contracts are going out, but I'm pretty sure something is almost a done deal. I'm sure Microsoft can give them the check that Kojima is asking for. But let's talk about Metal Gear as well. But what do we think about that? Because we're getting the best developers out there, and his name is kind of like has been kind of like a pretty much a household name in the gaming space, and just a collaboration, an exclusive collaboration. I think it's obviously a big deal because you see a lot of PlayStation guys getting really upset about it and sad about it. But I'm going to myself and saying, well, you know what? You snooze, you lose. And I'm looking at this deal and I'm going, it's great. For me personally, I'm not the biggest Metal Gear fan. I don't know about you guys. What do you guys think?
Well, personally, I'm not the biggest Metal Gear fan either, but I think they could be using their money for better things. I'm not a huge fan of Kojima himself. I find his games, they're all right. They're very cinematic. They're very anime-ish, and they're super convoluted and confusing. But I find his portrayal of women for one just completely out of whack. That whole quiet character, just oh yeah, let's put her pretty much naked, and don't worry, the reason for that in the lore is she breathes through her skin.
Yeah.
But then in an interview, he talks about he wanted it because he wanted to see people cosplaying them, and I'm just like, bro, man. You're is a little much. And you can even see in Metal Gear, those scenes where it's pulls up the poster of the half naked lady, and the guy's like, I'm just really not into that aspect of Kojima. But I like to say he did do a really nice shower scene with Norman Reedus in Death Stranding, so it goes both ways. It looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, it did take him a while to get there, though.
I'm more so curious what he's going to be doing with. Well, apparently it's going to be a cloud-based game, right?
Yeah.
So the whole thing was he was working with Google, and then Google decided to stop working on first-party projects, so. It sounds like one of the reasons why they hired Kim Swift is, part of the whole Kojima deal. So I'm very curious what his idea is, but I really feel like he gets a pass for a lot of pretty gross shit, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's pretty
just because because he made Metal Gear. So, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, Dan, what about you?
Hot take.
Oh,
right.
Good. It's good. Controversial.
Spicy.
Finally, yeah.
I don't know. I've always I haven't played a ton of Kojima games really. I played a little bit of Metal Gear Solid and everything. So and it was really a while after the fact. But yeah, I know there's lots of guys that are into Kojima games and everything, and there's an important fan base that's around that and everything that I'm sure Microsoft could benefit from, and that's what they're looking for more than anything.
Yeah.
And that's just it. It's especially if he is already working on a cloud-based game, it's that's just the next logical step. It's just toss it over to, the next big cloud gaming service that's already starting to get bigger than Stadia and everything.
Oh yeah, it's definitely bigger than Stadia just based off of subscription numbers. I think what Phil Spencer said, they were at 23 million.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's high now. It's definitely going to be. It's definitely going to touch 30 by the end of the year.
I think, especially with Halo and Forza. I think Forza 5 will be a huge Game Pass push. But yeah, it's exciting for people who are into Kojima to get that. A lot of PlayStation fans are having a meltdown on Twitter about this news, and it's just if Sony was willing to do, or even from what it sounds like he's trying to do based off of cloud tech, Sony wouldn't have been able to even help him with that.
Yeah, they would have been useless on it. Yeah.
It was either Google, probably Amazon, or Microsoft at that point, and considering the way things went with Google, for him, going to Microsoft is a no-brainer. And I feel like it also broadens their appeal in Japan, the Japanese market, the Asian market.
Mm-hmm.
And also it might get more Japanese developer on board for the console itself. So it could be a win in that sense, for sure.
It doesn't really make a difference anyways, because worst case scenario, you got 3 months of the game for $1 on Game Pass.
Yeah, exactly.
No harm, no
Get some xCloud and
yeah.
Toss in $1, play the game for 3 months, and then don't worry about it anymore.
Yeah, I'm in the camp where I think this is just like a hype train kind of thing. I find when Death Stranding got revealed, there was a lot of, it kind of like broke a lot of stuff on the internet and all that stuff. And then the game came out and it was, I played it briefly and I just couldn't get into it. But I mean, you admire his games. Everything, Josh, you just said, I think about when I played the original Metal Gear Solid and Metal Gear Solid 2 and like oh boy, if you look back and if you're a woman who've never played any Metal Gear games and you I shouldn't be speaking on behalf of this, but you should just flat out play the game and see how like the portrayal of is for them. And it's pretty shallow, it's pretty terrible, and but at the same time, he's beloved everywhere. It's not just beloved in Japan. He's huge in Europe. He's huge in US. And, it's a good find for Microsoft. I'm sure it's going to sell a lot of units and it's going to sell. I'm sure the game will, make some bank and all that stuff. I'm sure Kojima is making some bank for this. I mean, thinking about all that stuff. But right now, we don't really got a lot of what's happening. It's apparently, a Stadia cloud-based, potentially episodic horror game. That's what I'm hearing. Potentially.
Thought could be interesting.
Yeah. I think we could use that one, couldn't we? Like a nice episodic game that comes for Game Pass like every year, once a year, or maybe every 6 months or something like that. I could kind of use it.
It'd be interesting if it was for a month every Friday or something like that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want it to be like that far apart kind of. I feel like that hurt Telltale games, how far apart the episodes were from themselves.
Yep.
And I feel like episodic needs to be short. Some of those Telltale things were like 3 hours. I feel like something good in like a nice hour and a half would be interesting. But I'm more so curious about the idea. What is the idea of a cloud-based game? And maybe we'll see it, right? We'll definitely see it soon at the end of this month with Flight Simulator, but is it going to be something like that where it's like streaming in, and will it be like, oh, you can take any part of the world and just like drop in and a game kind of forms itself from there? Or like what is this? How are they going to use the cloud? The cloud.
It's going to be interesting to see all of that and how they develop it and everything. And yeah, really change like all the engines and everything. It'll make it easier to make episodic things like you guys were talking about. And just because they'll be easier, like better tools to better create better worlds at a faster pace. And utilize the cloud technology like Josh is talking about to, streaming textures a lot faster.
Like imagine if he could jump into like the game world and edit the game in front of you in real time. And like be the director in real time to everyone. That sounds
That's crazy.
Like how would, because imagine he's manipulating something on his end in real time and everyone's experiencing it because it's all done through the cloud, right?
Yeah.
Because he does weird things like he did with the Psycho Mantis fight with the memory card.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it you had to plug your controller into the secondary controller slot? So he does like weird stuff like that. So
yeah, and you do admire it because it's uncanny, right? Like there's nothing else to compare. I remember turning a game off, and that was like some part of the thing. To turn to So
reads your memory card
and stuff. Yeah,
like, you've been playing Mega Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see because it's people like that start to stretch the limits of like what's possible with stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like with engines, consoles, cloud gaming.
Yeah.
Game design.
I just want to see a true cloud game. Like they keep talking about this, guys. Like, but I haven't seen it. Like, I don't know. Like, is my Flight Simulator really that cloud game that everybody keeps talking about?
It's the only one we have right now.
Yeah, but I don't know, Dan. I don't know. Like, I'm just like looking at it, going like all this talk about this technology. But I haven't seen it really in action yet. I
think we're on the cusp of that change.
Yeah,
and that's like we've just gotten like brand new xCloud. Like it was tested on Android at first, and then like slowly moved to other devices, and now with the Series X upgrades and everything, it's running way better than I was expecting it to at this point.
Yeah,
and like they're just going to keep growing it and make it more efficient. Like games like this that are designed for xCloud are going to be running even smoother than the games that they're just forcing to run on xCloud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they weren't ever designed for that.
If you have a wired connection, it's pretty great. I was testing it out on Destiny on our desktop computer here. It works so good, man.
So far, all we've seen is games being put on xCloud. We haven't seen, other than the Flight Simulator, a game that's going to be made for xCloud rather than just put on there.
Well, it's interesting. They are just releasing the Medium this month on cloud. So the Medium did come out on Game Pass for console, but now it's releasing on cloud because it's now running off the Series X, and the Medium can only run off the Series X because it does that whole dual reality thing. So anyone who hasn't experienced that game, it's definitely a very cool game too. And it would work great. That would work great on the cloud. It's not a fast-paced game. It's more of a kind of like a point-and-click adventure. There's moments where you're running away from this weird maw-like creature. I think they call him the maw or something like that.
Yeah.
But that would be great for the cloud. But yeah, we'll find out what the cloud can do, right? I feel like, they talked up the cloud last generation with Crackdown and all that. I feel like this is the generation we're going to see it, people. We're going to see it this generation. So,
Crackdown was
it'd be interesting if Halo Infinite does decide to stop supporting the Xbox One generation, but doesn't, in the sense that they will just be like, hey, we're not making updates for the Xbox One hardware, but don't worry, you can still, you're all playing it online right now anyways, right? But you can play it through the cloud still. So it'll be interesting, games that can persist past that generation, but using that technology. So the cloud. The future is now.
Yeah.
Just like Nintendo, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I guess maybe we should talk about our last discussion. Nintendo announced a Switch Pro. Should we call it a Switch Pro? It's everything we wanted.
It's called the Switch OLED model.
Well,
very, very specifically named the Switch OLED model because they really want to make it clear to you that there is literally nothing else in this thing different than the screen being an OLED screen. And you know what's going to be even funnier? A lot of people will be like, what the fuck is an OLED?
Well, I'm looking at that price tag of like $350 and going, like, why would you want to buy this?
So this is what should have happened when they announced this. It should have been like the Switch Lite, $50 cheaper. The regular Switch, $50 cheaper. This new Switch OLED model, the same price as the regular Switch. Like that's what should have happened. But now they're like, oh, that OLED Switch, that's worth more than an Xbox Series S.
Yeah.
It's like 10-year-old hardware.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nintendo never made like a technology like tech heavy console. I think maybe the first maybe the GameCube was better than the PS2, but it was never better than the Xbox. But like I just look at this company and going like, ah man, I like yeah, obviously they make great games and there's a big like audience for it, but I'm just like, why would you want to buy this?
Well, just to kind of recap what they actually announced. They announced a Nintendo Switch with a 7-inch OLED screen on it, OLED screen on it.
Mm-hmm.
And now the dock you plug it in has a built-in Ethernet port.
Okay.
So that's literally all that they are adding to a piece of hardware that is like, what, 4 or 5 years old now?
Yeah.
That's
not really good. That's
dude,
lazy.
They advertise the fact that their dock has an Ethernet port in it. Like that's supposed to be a feature. Like, hey guys, we discovered an Ethernet port. We discovered the internet.
I'm really surprised they didn't have that just in the original dock, because it seems like a like no-brainer for you to have. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's literally like a docking station. Like that's what it's for, is to plug extra cables in so it sits there and you don't have to plug any cables in. You just drop your shit in and it works.
Well, the crazy thing that kind of blows my mind is, well, you're getting just the slightest bigger of a screen, but you're not even getting a resolution bump when you're playing portable. All they're saying is essentially like it's got to have real deep blacks. I'm like, what? Like your console deserves a refresh. You found your iPhone, Nintendo. You found your iPhone. You could literally just come out with Switches forever from this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it blows my mind. Is the chip shortage that bad? Like, do you think?
I mean, my
I would even consider buying this if it had more RAM and like a new Integra chip.
Yeah.
If they're like, this is a new console, but kind of forward facing, just what we do going forward. Yeah, it blows my mind.
I mean, I remember back in the day buying that like special like translucent plastic for my Game Boy and everything, but that wasn't this much of a price jump. Like the only thing I could think that this is supposed to be for is to fund their next like, you know, console thing or something. I don't know. Like, are they short money or something? And they're just like, all right, well, like they've historically done this a lot with all of the portable game things, but like this is like a big price jump. Like Josh was saying, was like you could just get a Series S and
I don't even think it's a resolution bump in the screen. So like it's you're checking additional $50 to it for a screen that my cell phone has a better screen on it. Like you can get cheaper cell phones. You can get cheaper cell phones that have better specs than this. Yeah, I would say buy a $200 OLED screen, like OnePlus 5G, or like Oppo phone or some shit like that, and get one of those Kishi controllers and get Game Pass for a month, and you have a better console than the Switch. Like, that's insane. Like, how could they put just a new OLED screen on it and add additional $50 to it? There's phones that are way more powerful and cheaper than that. Like, that's insane. That's like, people who buy it, don't be fucking stupid. There's a lot of stupid stuff Nintendo does, but this is the one where they're just like, no, you guys are fucking stupid and you'll buy it. So have fun. Like, I'm so done with them.
You know what? It reminds me of the Game Boy Advance. I liked the Game Boy Advance when I was a kid, and then there was the SP, and then there was another mini, and the price of those things were never the same. They were always a little bit higher, and they also had something that was like a minuscule update, and I was just like, I'm being ripped off. I'm just like, why would somebody want to buy this? But people still buy it. So what do I know? What do we know, right, guys?
The test.
It's a rip. It's a rip off. Like,
how
man,
much
just
can they sell you?
yeah, like just look how they do their games. Like what they have, like the new Metroid coming out at the end of the year, which is a sequel to like the classic Metroids. But like, good luck trying to play those classic Metroids. It's not like you have a virtual console. You can go onto their Switch and play their classic game library. They are so like they have like the richest library and the most beloved characters, but they are like even Disney. Like, talk about a company who had like the Disney's Vault, and I'd say Nintendo kind of bases their whole like philosophy around that kind of making their content like that Disney model back in the day where they put stuff away. But now Disney's just like, no, it's just all up on Disney Plus. Like, you can't be like that anymore. You can't be like that anymore. And it was kind of refreshing seeing the internet kind of dog on them for this announcement, because it's stupid. It's such a joke. It's such a joke when in your commercial they're like, it has an Ethernet port, and you're like, no shit. You know, like your original dock should have had a fucking Ethernet port. Like your original Switch should have had an OLED screen on it in the first place. Like, didn't the original Vita have an OLED screen on it? Like, oh, yeah, no,
it'll be now if they're gonna release it for their release of Game Pass on Switches, then I mean I could use those deeper blacks, you know.
Yeah, for real.
Especially for my Doom.
Great.
You know, if there's one thing to talk about, we just talked about cloud stuff. You know, they're kind of doubling down on cloud now. Like they're getting some AAA releases on cloud now. Like they're like besides Control, but there's some upcoming games that are coming on cloud for them. So I just say to myself,
Plague Tale.
Yeah,
Plague Tale is coming out for the Switch Cloud Edition. They have Control Cloud Edition. So one, like, why doesn't your new Switch model, does it have Wi-Fi 6 now?
Yeah.
Built in, so it's a better Wi-Fi connection? Like,
I don't think it does.
So the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
I just don't get it. I just feel like if anybody who is watching this that happens to be a very big Nintendo lover, and, you know, we're not trashing on you guys. You guys have a great variety of, like, games.
No, that's why we're upset, because they make 10 out of 10 games. They make 5-star experiences.
Something better to play them on.
Yeah, it's just
yeah.
Not just an updated screen and an Ethernet port.
But that's the thing. It's just an updated screen and an Ethernet port. Like, it doesn't even. And for those people who play like docked, it's essentially. Like, what are they getting out of it? Like, why would a person who plays dock primarily even look at that?
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, you up my memory from 32 to 64, but that's still not even enough. You could have went to 128.
Yeah.
So it's mind-blowing.
To put some discrete graphics in that dock and everything.
Oh, dude, the Switch is like screaming to have like DLSS or like VRR. Like, if they could implement stuff like that, you know how much better their games running. It wouldn't look like a jaggy mess. Especially like I hear things like Hyrule Warriors just like drops down to the single digits for its frame rate. Like, your console is starting to show its age. Like,
yeah. I just feel like as soon as they can kind of update, even if it's just touching like Series S, they're going to have so many third-party games lining up for them as well as ports that I just think like sometimes they don't think about that as well. Like, you know, they just actually that's something I've noticed with Nintendo. They're not really thinking so much about the third-party lineup sometimes, and hindering you. It's just hindering you.
I mean, even with the chip shortage, just buy some Series S's and then take the chips out of that and put them in your Switch.
But like they could have done so much. Like, even if they made it like they should have made it the Nintendo Switch 5G model. Like they should have added 5G capability to it. If you're going to keep on releasing these cloud-based games that are cloud versions, then release a 5G capable Nintendo Switch. You think these cell phone companies wouldn't love to sell you a tablet package to shove inside your Nintendo Switch?
Oh, yeah.
I'm
just a gamer.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a ton of like cloud streaming games that people don't realize. It's not even just Control, but there's like even the new Resident Evil 7. You know, there's actually I'm wrong. They only have 4 cloud games right now at the moment. There's
still 4.
Yeah. So
it's the start, you know. It's not like they're not going to release more. They're clearly releasing more. So if they were not going to do a chip upgrade, they should have at least put 5G into it, increase the Wi-Fi capability, and put Bluetooth into your thing. They could have put a Bluetooth chip inside.
I even forgot about
Bluetooth. Yeah. See the longevity of this device. Like it's a brand new device that's coming out with a new screen and everything.
Yeah.
But it's already out of date. Like it's way out of date.
Yeah.
And like
you're
the
not OLED
have
screen
much
is
longevity. It's just not going to last you any longer. Like unless you're going like the cloud route and everything. Like that's the only other way you could do it. And then why not put like a cellular chip in it?
Yeah.
I don't understand how it's more money. Like I know it's a OLED screen, but like it's not even a good OLED screen. It's not even, you know, it's
just a super average one.
Yeah, it's like just like an average OLED screen. Like, you know, it's like it's a 720p OLED screen. I'm like, okay, so like it's an OLED screen from like a phone you got like 6 years ago. Like, who cares? Like, how is it adding $50 more to it? How is it just not coming out at the exact same price? It should just be. They should have just been like, it's just replacing the old Switch. We're not going to make that Switch anymore. It just replaced. Like,
keep the same price.
Yeah, and the fact that I wouldn't even give a shit so much if it just was not $350. Like, how is this $50 more?
Yeah, like I'm honestly surprised. Like, sense. I know it's difficult to fit in the small form factor.
Yeah,
but like, why not just like you've already been successful with the Switch, you've already been successful with the Switch Lite and everything. Like, why not just go for like the console Switch and like upgrade some chips and everything, make it a little bigger, make it stationary. And like stream games to your Switch. Like you can start making better games and stream them to your Switch from your new Switch console. I guess I don't know. Something like that.
I think they're out of the console race. I'm sorry. I think they're out of that like the home base race.
Well, they're the hybrid race.
Yeah, they're like they want
to go somewhere.
I said, they found their iPhone. They don't need to come out with another form factor they just need to improve what they already have. Which it felt like they were going to do today. Man, when that trailer came up and I saw it in YouTube, I'm like, oh, look, it's the new Switch that's going to be a little more powerful. I'm going to be blown away. At the end of it, I was so like...
I was like, this is horseshit.
This is going to go down in their history as one of their worst like announcements ever.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be going on and on about it. It's just like...
Yeah.
It's a screen and an Ethernet port. It's such a fucking slap in the face.
That is, I mean, I think...
And it's $50 more. It's a screen and Ethernet port, and it's $50 more.
All right.
We'll stop trashing our Nintendo folks, Maybe we should trash Sony or something. I don't know. We should ourselves.
I still want to get a Switch, just not that one.
Yeah, get a Switch Lite, you know what I mean? Get a Switch Lite. I think it's $250, what is it, or $200?
Did they fix the Joy-Con drift?
Oh no! Yeah,
no.
Sorry, I should have brought that.
But, you know what? It's not like Nintendo would ever put on a bullet point on the box saying Joy-Con drift fixed. Like they're gonna admit to it in the first place.
Are they still getting sued for that? By the way,
I think so.
I think so.
God. Oh man!
I think the class action suit against Microsoft got settled out of court.
Okay.
But it happens. Actually, you know what? What surprises me with Joy-Con drift is these components they is apparently from like one manufacturer. I'm just like, hey, how about a better manufacturer just comes out with a better joystick and goes to Microsoft and says, hey, do you want this better made component? Like, just stop buying from this person.
Somebody do it.
And
give us royalties.
Just someone do it.
Yeah.
Donate us royalties.
Yeah, absolutely.
Use a harder plastic or some shit.
Yeah. You know what? We should close it off saying that I do want Nintendo to do good stuff, man, because I love the Game Boy. I'm a big Game Boy fan. Like, Game Boy was like kind of a big part of like my childhood, and so I
wanted to upgrade this. My wife has the Switch Lite. I wanted this new Switch. She wanted to get this new Switch, and we were going to give the Switch Lite to Oliver, our son.
Oh.
He's super into Pokemon right now.
Yeah.
And I would love him to play Pokemon Snap. He loves running around the house taking pictures with his little digital camera his grandpa gave him.
Yeah.
And I wanted him to play Pokemon Snap, and we were going to get the new Switch coming out at the end of this year, and now it's like, no.
Yeah.
We're not going to get that.
Yeah.
Like, not at all.
I know we're like, I mean, we got to close it off soon, but like, I got to say their new Pokemon game that they're kind of making out is actually looking pretty good. Like, they have like an open world Pokemon game, finally. Like a true open world Pokemon game.
I don't know, Andrew. Watch that trailer again. That game looks like shit visually.
Yeah, well...
Like, it's nice to see that they're going down a new route and kind of going more open world, and I can understand that's where you're more so saying that, but visually that game still looks like garbage, and I'm so tired of the Pokemon company getting a pass for making garbage-looking games too.
Yeah.
But you know what? Yeah, this is just turning into the let's trash Nintendo for a little while. But you know what? I love you, Nintendo. Just do better. That's, we come from a place of love for that, for their properties. Yeah. Just like when I know we weren't doing a podcast when Microsoft was doing bad, but when they're bad, I will be acting the exact same way.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Fast forward, maybe let's just go 7 years ago, and we'll just be like, Microsoft, what happened? What was this E3 about? Who are you people? Like, TV, why? We're in the TV industry.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, where are the games? No, let's go back to the television. And why?
I'm watching the Halo Infinite reveal.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, all right. Let's call it a night. You know, this was a good one. Jesse, if you're watching this, we missed you. We're looking back to having you back next week, and it'll be a lot of fun again. And hey, there's going to be some pretty good games coming this month, so hopefully we get to talk some more stuff about maybe some more releases. Maybe they'll show more stuff of The Ascent or Microsoft Flight Simulator or Christ Tales. I think.
Definitely want to do a full review of The Ascent with all of us. Definitely want to have a very in-depth conversation about that game. And it sounds like something we can all enjoy together at the same time. So definitely look forward to that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think, down the road, let's do some full game reviews as well, besides just a weekly podcast. I'd love to do The Ascent because that's like I think that's the month of this game that I'm looking forward to. And Microsoft Flight Simulator.
There's a ton of games coming out. Actually, there's a great YouTube channel I watch, Skill Up, did a 30-minute video on highlighting just indie games. I will leave it in the description. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tweet about it as well, just because he did such a good job of highlighting a ton of indie games that didn't really get their time in the limelight over the E3 week. So definitely take some time and click on that link at in the description and take a look at that, because there's a lot of gems in there. Yeah. And another great one in that video as well is Chris Tale coming out at the end of this month.
Very cool.
And also we got a little indie game called Flight Simulator coming out at the end of the month too.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard of it. Nice. Awesome. Dan, you excited about this month as well? You got anything? Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's going to be good. Okay, folks. Thank you again for watching. if you do like our podcast and you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to us. Hit the like button. Feel free to leave a comment down. If you're a Nintendo fan, trash us back, say something back bad to us. Please, we look forward to it. We relish it. We'll take our feedback. Say that we don't know anything, and if you're a Metal Gear fan and you are a misogynistic person, please defend Metal Gear. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh wow, there goes everything. There goes that channel for us right now.
Thanks a lot, Andrew.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. No.
It's like you trash Kojima and you trash Nintendo. We're done. We're done.
Yeah. Well, I appreciated fact that you guys brought that up. I'm glad to see that I'm in a podcast with men are talking about this stuff, and
I'm not gonna go against my morals. If you're watching this, you're only gonna get the truth out of us. So.
Yeah. We're anytime we announce it, we're gonna be as truthful as you can. As well. So YouTube, and you can also find us on Spotify and Google Podcast. Just look at Xbox North Podcast. Twitter, we're at Team North. Sorry, at North Xbox.
I'll get that eventually. Don't worry, Andrew.
Yeah. I don't know why. I think it's because there was a website called Team Xbox that I used to go to all the time.
It's at North Xbox.
At North Xbox.
North Xbox.
Also on Reddit and Instagram. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. My name is Andrew Rivendren. I'm with Joshua James, Dan Robertson. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. And, goodbye.
Bye.
Take care, guys.